Welcome back, everybody. This is Glockman4519. I am back with another ROM overview, and this one here is Broken. Uh, this is the latest version of Broken for the Nexus 6, and I figured I would bring it to you. It's been a while since I showed the last, or since I've had the last video of Broken, so I figured I'd go ahead and bring it to you guys. Well, it was that and the fact that I used Broken OS for demonstrating the accent video that I put out earlier today, and I had so many requests about people wanting me to do the video on this ROM, and believe me, I was going to do it anyways because this is one of the cooler ROMs out there that support layers as opposed to CMTE. And it does seem like that there are a lot of ROMs that are, heading over more towards the CyanogenMod theme engine. But we still do have the tried and true that stick with the layers. And there has been a lot of development in layers theming lately to the point where some of the modifications that you do, such as what I showed earlier in my very last video, where you don't even have to reboot. But anyways, back to this ROM. This is of course Broken, Broken OS. This is for the Nexus 6, Android version 6.01. Um, as you can see, the build, the Android build is MHC 19Q. April security patch, April 2nd. Let's see, it is official. Oh, and I am running a Blackbird kernel, and it's only because I am testing the kernel. This was his latest release. I've been kind of busy, and I wanted to get this tested. By the way, outstanding kernel. But you guys have to remember, Broken OS has probably one of the best stock kernels that I know of. Just like Dirty Unicorn, they have a great stock kernel. And if it would be me just running this ROM, I would just stick with the stock kernel. I am only doing this for testing. Okay, guys. Um, Again, the build date on this is May the 7th. So this is the latest release for the Nexus 6. Okay. We are going to move on. I am going to go quickly down through the developer options as there is not much there by way of custom modifications. You do have your Android debugging and your disable force close notifications. You make sure you get your at least your Android debugging. That way, if you hit a wall, you do have a recourse. On down is your network settings, of course. Input, everything is right in line with everything else. And in your drawing section, you're going to have your multi-window mode. That is where you're going to find that at. And you should have kill last app. No, it's not down there. But normally you would have kill last app in the very bottom of this where it has app settings. I'm going to try to get through this very quickly, guys. And I'm not going to hit what we don't need to see. These are the settings that I get requested most often that people want to see. So I'm going to hit these few. Under security, you have your privacy guard. That is all there. A lot of times you don't get that with with builds that aren't pure CM. Then you have of course your encryption, your privacy. Unknown sources. Make sure you have that unknown sources ticked on. That way you can sideload apps or install apps that you download from the internet or anything that you might have on your SD card. That is the only way you're going to be able to put them on is if you have unknown sources turned on. Then of course you have your advanced settings, and all the way at the bottom you have screen pinning. Let me see. Anything else here? Even sound and display are pretty much, all the same. You're not going to find too much there. I'll show you display real quick. I think because of the theme, you guys can change your theming in here. Right now I have it running on automatic because I am running Akzent theme. So I like to run that automatic, even though I think even if I had it on light, the theme accent would automatically turn it to black with a black background and a color. But that's where you would find that at. Of course, you have your sleep after so long. I had it set for 30 minutes because I was doing a video earlier today and I didn't want the screen shutting off on me. But that's where you would do all those settings at. And it's pretty typical. Nothing different on there, with the exception of the theme. Um, Sound and notifications quickly. I will run down through that just so you guys can see the settings under the sound and notifications. You do have your other sounds. This is what they have for that, what you can enable or disable. Then of course you have your app notification, advanced options, notification access, and your do not disturb all the way down there. Your heads up is going to be in this as well, and you can set up your notification lights, which I did not do yet, which is very easy to do. I actually have numbers memorized, so I know how to where I want to set it up. And by the way, while I'm here, I do want to mention that this is the kind of keyboard that I like. I'm not sure what the name of this keyboard is. It's not the typical AOSP keyboard or the Google keyboard that I'm used to, but I like it this way. I know Bliss has the same keyboard, and there's another ROM out there. I can't think of the name of it, but I like having that number on top, with the lettering underneath at all times instead of me switching back and forth. So good job on that. I do appreciate the D throwing that in there. I'm going to click OK. Everything else looks good. I'm going to leave that alone. As you guys can see, this is your broken center. This is going to be to go where you can put bug reports if you have any bugs. But being that this is broken, it's one of the most tested ROMs that I know of, kind of like Pure Nexus, where it is just tested and tested and tested before the developer decides to release it. You're not going to find very many bugs, and as long as you stay away from Xposed mods and do a clean flash, use the supplied kernel, you're not going to run into any bugs. Of course, you have your donate. I highly suggest you donate. There's a lot of time and effort went into building this for you guys. It doesn't hurt. Give them $1. If everybody that was running this ROM would donate $1, they'd probably have their server costs paid for at least a whole year. Now, equalizer. This is what they throw in with this. It's really cool. We have Viper for Android. I really like the Viper for Android. It works very well on the Nexus 6, at least from what I've found. Now, I'm not going to go through and set this up. I'm actually going to, yeah, you need to install Viper Android driver. Yeah, and I'm gonna pause this right now. Wait. No. All right, I'm back. Yeah, what I should have done was I should have downloaded my drivers and all that before I started this. So what I did was I went ahead and I downloaded the drivers, installed them, because I didn't want to take your time on that. But there it is, Viper for Android. You have all your settings for that. It's great. This is one of my all-time favorite music apps, and you guys know by watching my videos, I do not listen to music too much on my phone, but when I do, I like Viper for Android. And of course, you have your layers manager. This ROM does support layers, and I am running the layers theme I am running right now is Akzent. I did a video on this earlier. If you guys did not watch the video, basically this is the Akzent theme, and what's cool about it is you download and you install the theme just like you normally would any other, by clicking that, choosing all of them, hit that little paintbrush down there in the bottom, it applies the theme, do your reboot, then you have your theme set up, and then after you have your theme set up, you can go into what's called Dashboard. You will download this from the Play Store from that link that I showed you right there in the theme itself, or you can just put a search in for Dashboard. Actually, I will put all the links in the description to this video so you guys can get that. And what's really cool about this theme is you can actually change the color on the fly. Right now we're running a sky blue by hitting that button and going with like purple. If we hit that button right down there, let me move that over. Yeah, if we hit the apply button right there, what's going to happen is that is going to apply that color to the theme, and it is not going to reboot the phone. It's just going to reboot the system UI. It will keep on running. I'm still recording. And now you notice that the colors have all changed. Now, the other things you can do with this quickly, and I'm going to get back to the ROM. If you go here, you can actually pick a custom picture you may have on your drive or whatever. Pick one of the pictures, then you go back, you crop it. You can actually set it for your header up here. It's really cool if you want your child's picture or a naked lady or a naked man. I don't know, whatever. You could do that. Or you could go to this feature here, which is a feature that allows you to download custom header pack zips from many, many different ROMs. Actually, I do have Broken in here somewhere. I already have it downloaded. After you pick and download one, then you would go here. You would pick the one that you downloaded. There's Broken right there. And you would check those two. And then you hit that little check sign, which I'm not going to do because whenever you enable this for the first time, it actually does a soft reboot for you automatically. And when it's done, it throws in a custom header up there. So I just wanted to show you guys the theme that I am running on that. I always show the theme that I am running when I'm doing a ROM review. Under performance, of course, it has the kernel auditor. If you download it from the Play Store, it is actually going to be in your settings right there. And then we get into the broken pieces. You do have your app circle sidebar. For those of you unfamiliar with it, you turn it on. You include some apps that you want. I'm just going to pick some by random here so you guys can see how it works. You click OK. Then what you do is you set your trigger width. I like mine really wide, not that wide. Then you set up your position, and then once you touch it, there you go. You have a little like a little circle thing where all your shortcuts are for your apps that you just picked. It's a really cool feature to have. I'm going to turn it off so I don't inadvertently hit it while we are doing the video review. But I like seeing that in a ROM. It is a feature that I use. I just don't have it turned on now. And I just haven't set it up because I was working on the other video. Here is another thing that I like about Broken OS. How many ROMs out there do you know of that you download that comes with their own kick-ass wallpapers? Not many. Broken OS comes with some awesome wallpapers, guys. Again, this is one of the reasons I just love this ROM. I like the attitude of the developers. You know, they can be a little raw at times, and if you can't take that, maybe it's not. Maybe that community's not for you. You might want to just stay out of it. Not make any remarks in the community. But anyways, but they are actually a bunch of good guys. They're very, very smart guys. They know what they're doing, and they know what people like in their ROMs. And it's really simple in the wallpaper chooser. You just pick what you want. We'll go with something. Let me see here. We'll just go with that. You click set wallpaper, and now if I go home, it just changed my wallpaper. I am going to go back into settings though. You do have your expanded desktop options. Just pick your apps that you want, turn them on, and away you go with that. Here are your gesture settings. You have your status bar. You double tap to sleep. You can turn on your status bar, nav bar, lock screen, whatever you want. I don't use that setting, but they are there just in case you do want to use them. And then, of course, you have your three-fingered gesture, which I always have turned on. You basically touch your three fingers on the screen, pull down, and it gives you a screenshot. It's a really cool feature. I love it. I think all ROMs should have it in. If they don't already, I think that they should try to include that. And you have your init .d. This, guys, if you don't know what it is, you don't get in here because you can really screw yourself up. Or let me make a suggestion, and before you change any of these, basically what this is going to do is you're going to have to, you'll click something on and you're going to reboot. That sets it. And what it does is it tells the ROM to boot up a little differently, and you're basically tweaking your ROM. And if you don't know what these are, don't get in there and change anything. Again, you can screw your phone up pretty good. Then you have your lock screen. This is going to be where you're going to go for your wallpaper settings, like your blur, stuff like that. Your alpha on your blur. Then you have your lower lock screen shortcuts. You also have the mid lock screen shortcuts if you want to throw some of them on, which is a very nice touch. Again, not too many ROMs have this feature. It's really cool that Broken would throw that in there. Let's see here. You have your torch, quick unlock, and of course you can pick and choose your items that you want to show on the lock screen. I do like all of these showing. The alarm clock, the regular clock. You have your time, date, your charging current. I like that showing. Then of course there's keyguard status, clock and date. All of that is all here, guys. Then, of course, if you guys are music lovers, you have your show media cover art, which I don't. And then show power menu on the lock screen. I like to have my power menu on the lock screen. I don't keep my phone that secure. I really don't have anything in it that I'm worried about. Up next are the navigation. You have your navigation bar, and then, of course, we have Broken Pi, which I've already enabled. I've been playing with this all day. This is what it looks like. It is kick ass, as Broken is, man. You can make that as big or as small as you want. Add whatever features you want to it. It's very simple to do. You just get in there and pick what you want. These would be your Pi targets. There we go. See, you guys can turn on or off the different features in it. Like, I'll just turn them all on here and we'll see what kind of difference it makes. Again, I'm not always show menu button. Yeah, I'm not a big Pi user, but I really wanted to give it a try because I do. Yeah, see how that changed now? Look at it, just took all the bigger ones and turned them into itsy bitsy little ones. But again, you guys can do with it what you want. I just wanted to show you. I wanted to show you this feature. It is there. Then we have. Let's see here. That was. We have the recents options. Now, when you first turn this on, broken recents are on. Now, I'm going to turn it back on to show you what I mean. If we go to the recents, it is the more like the Kit Kat recents. It's off to the side. You can pick and choose colors. Set that up any way you want to do. I like the standard lollipop / marshmallow / and preview type recents, where it is more of a Rolodex type deal. But, everybody has their own preference, and that's what's nice about this ROM. It gives you those choices. You can pick and choose what you want. You can, memory bar, I like that. I do like to run with that. Only show running apps if you want to have that on. You can enable a search bar. Of course, they do have the full screen recents, which are my favorite. I like that whole full screen effect on there, running from top to bottom. Let me go back into settings here. And then, of course, the clear all button and clear all location. I have mine set for bottom left. Let's see, where are we at now? That was recents. Navigation. Oh, I missed. Okay. Next up is the. Actually, you know what? We were still on navigation. Navigation bar, memory bar. Okay, all that. We're done with that. It's messing with me. Okay, now we're gonna go into the power menu. Show you guys all the features that they give you to pick and choose from on this. again, you guys, if you watch my videos, you know I like choices on my power menu. I use my power menu like I use my um, like I use my recents. It's quick, it's easy, it's one of the fastest buttons to hit. So I like to have all those choices on there. Next up would of course be the status bar. These are your status bar settings. You can pick and choose. I actually had the 3 minute mod on. I shut it off. I think it was conflicting with the theme I was running. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that back on. I want that to be an icon showing, and then the percentage showing next to it. And they do have a battery bar. Thank God. I mean, I love the battery bar. I'm glad that they include it. Uh, because if you don't want to run it, just don't run it. They give you the option not to run it. I'm going to go ahead and color it so it kind of matches the theme a little bit more on the purple side. And yeah, let's go just a little bit more light. All right. And then, of course, you can have your thickness. I like mine about as slim as I can get it. Let's see. Then you have your brightness control, brightness slider. Of course, you have your broken logo. And by God, if they're going to have a logo on there, I am going to run it. I think all ROMs should have a logo like that. Well, not like, Broken's logo. They should have their own logo, but they should have a logo. Uh, then you have your clock and date. Carrier label above that. If you guys want to put something up there, you can. Or that and on your lock screen or none at all. Clock and date. These are your settings for the clock and date. Of course, I have mine set up where it's on in the center of the screen or in the center of the status bar with both the clock and the date. You guys can set that up however you want. The only thing I wish we would be able to color some of the icons in the status bar. I think that would be perfect. If we could color some of those, we wouldn't even need to run a theme. Let's see. Then you have your contextual header. If you're going to run that theme I showed you, the accent theme, you are going to need to turn your contextual header on if you want to use the header swap feature in that theme. Just giving you some heads up on that. And since they don't have a polygonal, option here, you don't have to worry about that. Just make sure you have the contextual header on. Then of course you have your quick pull down. I have mine set up for the right. If you guys use the um, if you guys use it, you can have it set up however you want, or some people don't even like the quick pull down. These are your quick settings. These are the tiles. These are the tiles actually that I have chosen right now. Again, with the power menu and the recents and the quick settings, this is how I get around my phone. I very rarely use the app drawer. So again, this is what I have. These are the three that I didn't use. I pretty much used everything except for those three. So you guys can set it up however you want. You can set it up to have 4 tiles if you want. It's that I just have it set up like this. At least I think you can set it up with 4 tiles. Yeah. Yep, right there. Let's see here. We are on the show notification count. You have your status bar icons. Pick and choose what you want to even show in your status bar. That's where that's at. Traffic indicators. You can have your data coming in, going out, both coming in and going out showing, or have none at all. Right now I have it. I have nothing at all up there showing. Then we have, of course, your weather. I do have that to show weather in the status bar. And then, of course, these are your status bar settings. This is for your temperature. I have show with scale on left side. And then all the way at the bottom are your widgets. Your clock widget, weather widget. This is where you would have your, do your settings for that. That would be your clock. That would be your weather. Of course, your calendar events would be all the way at the bottom. Next up would be your volume rocker. This is going to be where you're going to do all your settings on your volume rocker. If you like to listen to music or not listen to music, you can set this up however you want for that. SE Linux switch options. If the kernel you are running allows for permissive, this will allow you to switch. And I can't remember whether the stock kernel allows or comes permissive. Um, and I feel terrible for even saying that. Um, Again, guys, back to the kernel. Um, Unless you have a reason to run a different kernel with this ROM, I highly suggest running the kernel that comes with the ROM. It is optimized for the best performance and the best battery usage for this ROM and for this phone. So just giving you another heads up on that, guys. Okay. That was pretty much Broken Pieces. That is it. This is Broken OS. I can't say enough good about it. This is, again, one of my favorite layers supported ROMs. This and there's another one out there I just love. I hate bringing names up of other ROMs when I'm doing a review because, I just the way it is. Um, but that's, it's just the way it is. This is one of my top, I would say top two, two or three ROMs of all time for layers. That's about it, guys. If you're curious about the icons I'm running, the icon pack is called Tasty, and the same developer that did the theme, Akzent, also made those icons. Um, there is the name of the um, developer right there. And That's about all I have. I'm having no issues at all with the ROM whatsoever. I've been switching back and forth, just beating the crap out of this thing, testing this theme, and I've had no, kickbacks from the ROM whatsoever. Battery seems to be running very, very good for me. Um, that's about it. If you guys liked the video, give it a thumbs up. And I just want to take this time again to thank all of my subscribers, and I will see you all on the next one.